phone on mute. We would appreciate that. And if you have any questions, there's a chat box over on the far right side so that you don't forget them. You can go ahead and type your question in there, and when we get to the proper point in the presentation, we will start having conversation and discuss those questions. So today's webinar is called Adding PRCG Tools to Your New Business Toolbox, and it's presented by the Business Facilitation Committee. The Business Facilitation Committee is currently Sharon Carrere and Barb Harris. So Sharon, do you want me to beep when you want me to?
No, I'm doing it.
Okay.
I just hit the wrong button.
Super. So let's go back to what's in your toolbox. And as an agency or a sole practitioner, you've already put together your own new business kit. It's got your case studies. It probably has a PowerPoint or a Prezi new business pitch. You have this amazing bio that's on your website, that's on the PRCG website. It outlines your years of experience, how awesome you are, awards you've gotten. You probably also have some type of results portfolio showcasing all the successes that you've done over the years. So those are the most common tools in your new business toolbox, but some things that you might be missing is that opportunity to add in additional resources through PR Consultants Group, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So as I said, the Business Facilitation Committee, which is quite the mouthful, not quite sure who came up with that title.
Also known as BFC.
We're going to start calling it BFC. It's a new committee, and it was developed after or during the last conference in Albuquerque, and it's developed in response for the PRCs that kept asking for they were asking for help. Hey, how do we incorporate all this great and vast PRCG experience into our new business pitches? So in contrast to the Business Development Committee, we're more of a reactive committee than a proactive one. So we're not looking to go out there and identify new business opportunities. We're hoping that you're doing that yourself in your market. What our job is to help you make that presentation the best it can be. You need a specific piece of expertise, and you don't have that, and you want to find out if other PRCs do. You can turn to us, and we can help you track all that down. So our job is to help PRCs more effectively plug into resources. So what we need to do is, you need to identify your needs. Is there a client in your market that you've always wanted to work for, but you didn't seem to have the geographic reach because you know that they're not just in your market, they're in 10 other markets across the country. Or they're a hotel chain and you have a little bit of hotel experience, but not enough to really make it stand out. Do you have an existing client that's planning on expanding into new markets? Like I have an existing client that I just found out is now expanding into Dallas. And so I'm going to chat with them and bring in all of that information from Lisa. Is there a particular expertise in your arsenal that you would like to offer to existing or potential clients? For example, you know that an existing client would love to do more stuff with SEO, and SEO is 3 letters that you kind of know something about, but you're an old dog and can only learn so many new tricks and would love to know who in the network is really, really, really spiffy with that. Or on the flip side, do you have a skill set or service that might be put to work by PRCs in other markets? It might be something really great that's the one thing that's been keeping a different PRC from going out for a particular piece of business.
So we're looking at ways to plug you into PRCG, and we wanted to start with some of the tools we've already created and then talk about the kinds of things that we're willing to create once we know that the need exists. So if I can get my cursor. So here's what we've done so far already. We have updated a capabilities PowerPoint presentation for PR Consultants Group. It has a new look that better matches the graphics on our new website. It has been put up on Smartsheet, and if anybody has trouble locating that on Smartsheet, we can either help you find it on Smartsheet or just send it to you. It's easy to customize. You can pick and choose what slides you want to use, but I think it gives all of the tools you need if you were giving a visual presentation and wanted to explain what PRCG brings to the table.
Sharon, real quick, one thing we'd like to suggest with both the presentation and the one sheet, we would prefer that you utilize it out of Smartsheet and download it and then customize it for whatever presentation you're using it for, opposed to us. I mean, we can mail it to you, but it'd be better on Smartsheet because we know it's always going to be updated, the one that's on Smartsheet.
Correct. We will keep it current. We've also put up on Smartsheet a new one sheet, and this is something you can print out or you can email to a client or a prospective client, and it has a nice overview of what PR Consultants Group is, but it also, you'll see in that box in the bottom, it makes it very clear that the way the client accesses PRCG is through your business. And so this one we customized to TeamWorks, but you could put your own logo in and your contact information, and it includes in that box information on how they would work with you to take advantage of the experience and expertise in the network. We also, they aren't up on Smartsheet yet. I will get that done today, but we've created new boilerplates. We worked with Lee on revising boilerplates for the website, also for the PRCG LinkedIn site, but that verbiage is also available if you want to update your own LinkedIn site and have a section on it about what is PR Consultants Group. So there's different variations of that that will also be available later today on Smartsheet. We also have artwork, past and present client list logo art. This is basically pulled from the capabilities presentation, but we'll have that at the end of the day up as a separate file also if you want to just kind of put that into a presentation without doing the full-blown one. Examples of what we can do, we can connect you with multi-market case studies that really demonstrate the geographic reach that you can bring to clients through your affiliation. We're started developing them. We've had a little bit of trouble getting a lot of response back from PRCs, partly because we're not asking for a specific reason or in a specific industry at this point. So if there is case studies that you know you would like to have to include in a presentation, let us know and we will work hard to track those down. We've created a template so that you'll have very consistent, it won't be like a 5-pager on one example and a 2-pager on another. They'll be very consistent templated case studies. If we don't have coverage in the desired area, we also will help you find a qualified professional in that area, because Barb and I have done quite a few multi-market projects over the years. We've had to find people in markets that weren't covered. That's becoming less of an issue because our membership has filled out, and I think we're covering so many more markets. But if you run into one that you need help finding somebody, we're also available to do that. We can also match you up with relevant expertise to round out your pitch team. So if you want to contact us and say, hey, I'm pitching this client in this industry and I need to add people to my team that know both that industry or that have expertise in a particular strategy or tactic, we will help you do that. It can be, or it can even be a resource that you need. I'm going to need media lists generated. We know somebody in the network that does that very reasonably and very effectively. I want somebody with ice cream experience or whatever experience that would be. We'll help you track that down so that you're not, especially for the newer members who haven't had the chance to work with as many people in the network yet, we can help connect you and save you a lot of searching and trying to figure out who to contact. We also can provide some counsel on budgeting. Not everybody has done multi-market projects, and so I know some people that we've talked to in the past, that's been an obstacle for them. They're like, I don't even know where to begin budgeting it. I don't know how I would manage it. I don't know how I handle the project agreements and all of that. Don't reinvent the wheel. We have examples available, and we can give you some counsel. We also can work with you to identify any client conflicts and solutions to them. So, for example, let's say you have an opportunity to work with a craft brewer and in multiple markets. Well, we will happily help you run interference to make sure that the PRCs in those markets don't have a conflict with another beer or spirits provider that would be an issue. And if they do have a conflict, we'll help coordinate with them to find another person to cover that market. Oops. Okay, I hit too many. Hold on. And I turn it back to Barb.
So what we need is for you to tell us what you need. We don't want to hand you over a wrench if what you really need is a screwdriver. And that is the only toolbox reference we will make in this entire presentation. With reasonable notice, we can connect you with the information and the resources and the messaging you need. We love you all, but if you're going to do a pitch tomorrow about hotel chains, don't call us today about needing a 5-page backgrounder on all the hotel experience we have. To that end, we're going to start a library of resource materials, case studies, sample pitches, etc. But we're only going to do those as those things come up or there's one that's really obvious. For example, as we were just sitting here and Sharon was talking and she said something about ice cream experience, and I realized just how much ice cream experience some of us in this market in this network have. Sharon and I worked for years for Good Humor Briars, and then we managed many of you for a couple of years with Cold Stone. I know Natalie has ice cream experience. We know Julie has ice cream experience because she was actually on the Dryers team the same time we were on the Briars team, and we were actually doing PR against one another at the same time. So that's a case study that we really should be putting all of that great information together and saying, what ice cream is out there that needs our help?
So in that situation, we would put together the materials and then we would hand it over to the Business Development Committee.
Yes. Ding. So let's discuss. I've noticed on the chat box no one's put any questions in. So I think what we'll do is if you have a question, feel free to unmute and ask your question. We're getting
that
lots
was just
of nice.
hard to find my mute button. It's Felicia. I started typing and then I just thought, screw it. I did finally get on the screen. This is so awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. It's just really invigorating to see that. If I go into Smart Sheets and look for that PowerPoint in that one sheet, is it under Essential Documents?
Yes.
Where do I? Okay.
And if for some reason you're not seeing it, let us know, because I know that we were talking with Lindsay a couple weeks ago, and she knew where to go find it, and for some reason she just couldn't see it. And all it took was me re-inviting her to see that, and boom, she could see it. So.
Okay, and is it what's the name of the file? Because this is all. There's a lot of files in here.
Barb, you're going to have to look because otherwise my screen.
That's right. You can't drive.
Now.
I got them both. Yep. PRCG one sheet and PowerPoint presentation. That's great. Thank you.
Perfect. And like we said, the other stuff will be up there later today, so you can update your LinkedIn or your website. If if on your website you talk about being a member of PRCG and you want to update that copy as well, this is the latest and greatest and most blessed copy about PRCG.
That's great, y'all. Everything. This is huge. This is wonderful. And especially this, quote, early in the year to have something like this just popped out as a deliverable. This is terrific.
Excellent. And thank you, Julie, for that piece of information. Row 2 and row 3 in Essential Document Sheets are the one sheet and the PowerPoint.
Hey guys, this is Amy. Love what you did. I have a question. Maybe you guys have an idea. I've always thought, I've talked to Julie Dennehy about this too. If we could roll up sort of our collective, and I haven't opened your PowerPoint, so I apologize if it's in there, but rolling up kind of our collective social influence as a group could be a really huge number.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd added to our member bio thing in Smartsheet, sort of extended out, Facebook and Twitter and all these things. It just seems like people have a gazillion channels, so that's probably not the best way to do it. But wondering if maybe a Survey Monkey that sort of asks people about all their channels. I mean, what do you guys think would be the easiest way to roll that up? And do you think that would be a useful point to say, our group as a whole has X million fans and followers, for example?
That number, that column exists somewhere on Smartsheet.
Yeah, it does.
It does, and
I honestly think that is more of a new business thing than it is a business facilitation thing. So I like your idea, but that is more of a proactive selling point of us than and this is just my opinion, Sharon. You can weigh in, but
I'm on the fence because it would be a nice statistic to be able to have sort of in our bag of tricks. I think that it would become there'd be a challenge in keeping it current because I think it's a constantly moving target. And I guess the other place where I'm kind of thinking is, yes, it's great to know that reach, but are those the people that I need to reach? In other words, if I'm looking to reach people in a particular industry or geographic area, does it matter to me the overall? I don't know.
I think it sort of just speaks to influence. Like I could see it on your one sheet, or I'm opening the PowerPoint now, which is really great looking. And again, I think the challenge is rolling up the number and keeping it current. But I think if we rolled it up now and kind of updated it once, I just don't know the tool to sort of roll that up versus.
I am not opposed to. To me, the SurveyMonkey would be the easiest way to ask that question. Are you going to get responses from everybody? Probably not, but it would be potentially interesting to see, what number we came up with based on whoever does respond.
The nice
but once
thing
again,
about,
it's on Smartsheet. So aren't we better off just to ask people to update it on Smartsheet versus doing a SurveyMonkey?
Oh, okay.
Specifically, it's on the member list 2016 sheet, which is separate from the essential document sheet. It's our member list. Second to last column, if you scroll over, you got to move the little scroll bar, is total social media audience. It's
wonderful.
Okay.
Let's then have Ann put it in Friday Thoughts and ask people to update that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So you will need to scroll over.
Amy, you said you would get that info to her?
Yeah, I'll get
That'd be great.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't updated it myself, but I think you're right. Let's just keep it in the same place. And if it's on the same line as each member, then certainly that's a good place for it.
Because the first time we did it, Instagram didn't even, we just added Instagram last year. Instagram didn't even exist. And
exactly.
I think Snapchat didn't either.
I think my only thought about the rolling up, and I said this when we put it on the list, in the first place, is it's not quite true. Because if you're saying to a prospect, we have the potential reach of 34,000 on Facebook alone, which is what it is, that means that every single member would have to post in order for that to be true.
Correct.
And I just don't think that's a fair, I'd rather do something else, That is our potential reach. I just don't think we've ever in history.
We've never really tapped it.
No.
Fully.
We could, but we'd have to have compliance, So it's a number we don't want to toss around lightly if we don't have a plan to, fulfill.
Roll it out.
What I would, frankly, if it were my client and I told them you'd get 50,000 reach and then we got 3 people to post, I would look pretty silly.
Well, I know. I put something out on PR Web the other day, y'all, and it said I had a potential audience of 91 million. What a joke.
Right.
You know,
Well, that's
and,
how
and,
that's
and
how I feel. Yeah.
you know.
Any other questions out there? Okay, well, we like I said,
but y'all, that was great, and these are great assets, and thank you very much for doing everything.
Great. We've recorded this, so we'll be sending it out to the membership as well. But we appreciate